Right. We'll start. So how many of? Yes. Consider the following statements about the State Reform Action Plan. This is Ayog. Both? I don't think so Niti Ayog will be a part of it. Okay, let us check. Niti Ayog is not there. Okay? Fine. But that is right. Index with regard to Business Reform Action Plan. Okay, so Business Reform Action Plan, and it is a reform action plan for both states and union territories. This Business Reform Action Plan is only for the state, means again wrong. It is both for states and across the country, Pan India scheme. It's a Pan India scheme, universal scheme like that you can say. To why this particular things has been initiated in order to increase ease of doing business. Ease of doing business. Ease of doing business is nothing but how easy it is to do business in a particular country. How easy. Okay. Suppose if we are in here, we are in this place, very good place in Ashok Nagar. If I ask you, if you are having 1 crore with you, so where you will invest your money? Okay, in old city or in new city? Where you will invest? Tell me. Why you don't want to invest in old city? So you may say that, sir, there is always a communal problem is there, right? There is no skilled labor is not there. Okay, people are not that literate that I cannot hire them unnecessarily. The money will be wasted. Okay, it is very congested. Okay, and here there gundas are also there. Then I have to take care of that also. So you will not find it very convenient. So you will never go. In the same way, if a person, if like Warren Buffett, Walmart chairman, if he wants to come to India and establish his Walmart stores here, then he will also look, no, should I go for China or should I go for India or should I go for Bangladesh? Right? Then he saw, okay, India is having, okay, one unified taxation system is that GST. Okay, it's very nice. So I can I can open a store in Andhra Pradesh. I can open a store in Telangana. But the whatever the stationery, whatever this infrastructure is there, they have to maintain only one, because only one tax I have to pay across the country. Okay, I can put my plant anywhere. I can put my plant anywhere. GST is one, no, for me. GST is one for me. And India is very good because we are having here incentive schemes are there. Supreme Court is also there, which takes care of, which properly gives the judgment. A proper dispute resolution mechanism is there, and they don't just generally distort the laws. Okay, according to the law, the judgments have come. Or historically, we have seen that many private investors, foreign investors, they have also won the cases, and government has reimbursed back to them, just like what happened in Kane Energy and Vodafone, right? Kane Energy and Vodafone. So government of India is ready to pay them back, right? Okay, so you can understand that here again licensing system, red tapeism, bureaucracy, okay, approval system, all has become very transparent. All has become very transparent. Okay, so a person who wants to come to India will definitely see, no, here political stability is there or not. Okay, generally here 5 years every government will come. Since last 2-3 decades there is no change in the government for every 5 years. So there is a certainty is there with regard to political who is coming to power, right? Just it's not like Afghanistan, like anybody can be president tomorrow. In that case, it is very difficult to run the business, right? If the country is having refugee crisis, if the country is having civil war, we don't have such problems. That's why the foreign investors will think that, okay, keeping all these parameters, they take all these parameters into consideration, then they will come to our country. That is what is called as ease of doing business. How easy it is to do business in the country with regard to taking the loans, with regard to constructing a plant, with regard to getting a license, okay, with regard to quality of standards of products mentioned in the various acts, with regard to taxation system, when we have to pay, how much we have to pay, what is the process of calculating the taxes. If all of these has been simplified, anyone can come to our country. right? So this state reform action plan, generally it has got how many are there? 180. I have discussed like 5 to 10 points I have discussed with regard to ease of doing business. In this action plan, 180 reform points are mentioned. 180 reform points are mentioned. So on every point, the government, the state government or union territory is taking some steps or not. Okay, on the basis of that rankings will be given. On the basis of that ranking will be given, just like exactly like ease of doing business. But this is our own. This is our own. Okay, the 5 states under the state reform action plan are Andhra Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Telangana, Madhya Pradesh and Jharkhand. They are like doing, like they might have done lot of reforms with regard to this 180 points. Maybe they have done 70, 80 properly. Employee Provident Fund Scheme. Recently the government of India has said that interest earned on employee provident fund beyond 2 lakhs will be taxable. Beyond 2 lakhs will be taxable. Okay. So listen to me carefully here. So I am an employee of this source, Target IAS, right? So my PF will be deducted. Okay, my PF will be deducted and employee contribution will be there, and according to the Provident Fund Act, employer contribution will also be there. I will pay 1000 rupees, madam will pay 1000 rupees, this 2000 will go to PFRDA, Provident Fund, Pension Fund Regulatory Development Authority. It will go to that. Means central government maintain funds. They are not state government, they are maintained by central government. And what they are doing with that fund? They will invest. They will invest. Okay. They will create like whatever the services they will create in railways, they will invest, and from railways we buy tickets, from there that profits, or they will buy the securities and bonds of other countries also, and on that bonds and securities they will get interest rate. So that fund will be utilized for various purposes. Okay, and that over a period of time that will increase. That is how we get more money after the whenever we are retiring. Whenever we are retiring, we'll get it. If I calculate like this now, I will not get 30-40 lakhs. I will get only 10-12 lakhs. But ultimately, it is becoming 25 lakhs. How? Because they are also giving us, they are investing and giving us what? Some more money on it. Whatever they are earning, they are distributing it. Whatever they are earning, they are distributing. If anyone is getting more than 2.5 lakhs on their PF funds, okay, then that particular extra funds will be taxed. 2.5 lakh above, like I got 5 lakh rupees interest rate on my PF, 5 lakh rupees interest rate, extra money I got on my PF amount. So 2.5 lakhs will not be taxable. After 2.5 lakhs, government will take some percentage. This is a new announcement from the government.
So before 2.5 lakhs you can withdraw?
No, you cannot withdraw. You have to apply, they will deduct and give. It's not your ATM to withdraw. But PF you cannot withdraw with ATM and check, no. First of all, they have to forward it. When you apply for pension, you will not get for on the same day, right? Okay. When it credits into your bank account, then you can receive a savings account only to you. I am not talking about your savings account, PF account.
Whenever we need, we can.
Nine. Whenever we need, no, that is like there are some, when you are having emergencies, you can utilize your PF fund. They are called as grant provident fund. They will give a grant. Okay, marriage, you are having anyone is dying of sickness like that, you can withdraw your money. Some part of the money you can withdraw. I'm talking about other thing. I'm talking about interest rates. Okay, that is a very common feasibility a particular government should give. Lot of money is being accumulated in my PF. Are you not giving me even some part to meet emergency situations? That is a very common genuine demand, right? That they have to give for sure. Fine. Remember this point. So above 2.5 lakhs, if anybody is earning in the interest rate on PFs, they will be taxable.
So it is not on interest, it is on savings. If you
like contribute more than 2.5 lakhs in your PF account, then that amount will be taxable. Because what people used to do is they used to like have 1 crore rupees also as PF because it was taxed.
Hmm.
For that, then government came with this provision.
Interest rate earn. Yeah, 2.5 lakh above. Acha, if this is a fund, if you are having more than 2.5 lakh, okay, on this amount, if any money is earned, that will be taxed. That will be interest rate will be taxed. Okay. Understood? Fine, we'll go ahead. EPF is a social security scheme under the Provident Funds and Miscellaneous Provision Act of 1952. Please remember, statutory body. The scheme is managed under the aegis of EPFO, Employee Provident Fund Organization. EPF accounts, sir, this is very, very important. Mandatory. You cannot say that I don't want a PF account. Okay, they are mandatory. For those employees who are earning more than 15,000 per month and the unit is having 20 workers. And the unit is having 20 or above workers, then this particular provision will apply. PF will be compulsory. PF will be compulsory. Employee should give, employer also should give. They cannot escape from this obligation. Under this scheme, an employee has to pay how much? 12% towards the scheme. An equal contribution is also made by the employer. Okay. This EPFO, it's a government organization. This is very important. That manages the provident and pension funds of only organized sector. Very, very important. Only organized sector means the person who are there selling the idli, dosha and pani puri and tax, not for them. Only for those employees which are working in what? Registered companies. Okay, which are registered in one or the other act, Companies Act, Factories Act. Okay, in that any of the acts, if they are registered and working, then EPFO will take care of their pension aspects. Okay, and this EPFO is implemented by a act, Employee Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provision Act of 1952. It is administered by very, very important again, Ministry of Labour and Employment. It is one of the largest, world largest social security organizations. When society ki secure cheyali, to secure the society from any kind of emergency situations when they retire. Even before there are provisions are there, but I am not going into that. National agricultural market. The whole thing is here very simply. I will explain you. It's just like a Amazon. Nothing more than that. National agriculture market, E-NAM. Okay. So I am a farmer in Telangana and the prices of rice here is 45 rupees. Okay. But in Bihar and Madhya Pradesh, they don't grow that much of rice. Okay. They might have wheat very commonly grown there. So wheat prices are less there, but rice prices are like 70 like that. Okay. So instead of selling here, I can sell to that particular people or not. Okay. So they can sell here. Fine. So it is nothing but a unified market, just like Amazon, where all the vendor means those who want to sell their products, they are called as vendor, and those who want to buy that product, they are also called as vendor. Okay, so I want to sell. So I will go in E-NAM portal, I will register, my name is so and so. Okay, so I will be generating my phone number, I will write, email ID I will write, I will generate a OTP, that is my, and I can upload images of my rice. Okay, and I can say that every month I can supply this much of rice bags, etc. Okay, I have also got certified, my rice I have certified by ISO quality standards, etc. I will mention all of this. So Punjab, Haryana, UP, Bihar, rice, the people, rice wholesalers will look into all the profiles of the farmers who are offering the rice and they will call us directly. Okay, that is what E-NAM is all about. It's a online trading platform, unified national market for a better price, right or wrong? Here you will not get a price that you expect, but there If you are selling to them, you will get a better price or not? Yes. So some remunerative prices you will get. Uniformity in agriculture marketing, removing information asymmetry. Removing information asymmetry means not proper information. Not proper information. So your rice may be sold in some other market at higher price. Somebody will say that it's not 70 rupees here, it's only 60 rupees. Okay, so you will get what? Misinformation. You will get a what? Misinformation. But this portal, they will directly call you, no. So direct you can engage with the buyer and you can ask that this much price I want. So there is misinformation, whatever is there, that will be removed. That will be removed. Okay. Tell me, consider the following statements. Consumer Welfare Fund has been constituted under the Consumer Protection Act of 2019. This fund is created to promote and protect the welfare of the consumers. Find the incorrect quote. Okay, right. You are right. This is wrong. Okay. This is the right answer because incorrect quote, no? This is wrong. This is a very common thing. Union Minister of State for Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution. They have got what? Consumer Welfare Fund. Not through Consumer Protection Act. Okay. So it was set up under Central Good and Services Tax Act. Very, very important point here. You can never imagine that they will put something in tax. Okay, aspect. Central Good and Services Tax Act 2017. Okay. So to promote and protect this is a right statement. Unified portal for Gobar Dan. So this scheme is mainly targeted, so Gobar should be like donated. For what purpose? To implement various biogas schemes. Biogas schemes. So the full form of Gobar Dan is here. Galvanizing organic bio-agro resources. It is implemented under Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin Abhiyan phase 2. And important one is here, ministry is very, very different ministry. Again, Department of Drinking Water and Sanitation obviously works under Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation only, but you can see. So Gobar Dan, you may see that biogas is there, you might be thinking it might be in Renewable Energy, Ministry of Renewable Energy, okay, or you might be thinking that it might be for agriculture related, okay, but it is altogether something like drinking water and sanitation, okay, because Swachh Bharat mission under this particular Gobar Dan is there, no, that is the reason Swachh Bharat will be under this ministry, right or wrong? Swachh Bharat under this ministry, that's why in this ministry they have put Gobar Dan, that's why you got this way. To augment income of farmers by converting biodegradable waste into a compressed biogas. Compressed biogas. So anyhow the Gobar is biodegradable. Biodegradable is nothing but if you put a potato at the corner of your house and if you go for 10-20 days, will it be there or not? Will it be there or not? At least half will not be there, right? Okay, at least half. So what happened? Degraded. Means microorganisms are acted and it has been degraded. Like if you put a plastic for centuries, it will be like that only. Non-biodegradable. Organisms cannot act on what? Plastics. Okay, so it's like augmenting the income of farmers so that they can also use what? Compressed biogas in their vehicles, etc. Pradhan Mantri Urja Ganga project. The PM dedicate the nation 348 kilometer Dhobi Durgapur natural gas pipeline. Urja, it's related to gas, not electricity, not petrol, diesel, etc. Gas pipeline, which is a part of Pradhan Mantri Urja Ganga project. Okay, so from pipeline only cooking gas will be given to people. This is how in USA you will get. Okay, my sister told me they don't have LPG cylinders. Piping, they'll get the gas directly. Karnataka also. Bangalore only, I guess. Is it so? Pune also. Only we are backward. Okay. Only Teluguites are backward. Telangana and some people are not doing it. We are pro Raitu. Raitu Bima will be there, Raitu Bandhu will be there. Okay. Forget about everything for them only. There won't be anything for anybody else. It's two states, Raitu and education. And they will not do anything more than that. Education and Raitu. It was launched in 2016 in Varanasi. Okay. It is, if they ask you that, remember again one point, Pradhan Mantri Urja Ganga project is a pan-India program. Wrong. It is implemented across all the states of the country. Wrong. It is extended only to the people in the states of what? Bihar, West Bengal, Odisha and Jharkhand. Very, very important point here. They will twist it. It's not a pan-India scheme. The government is taking initiative to connect the eastern states also with the help of a national gas grid. Okay, that is not that important. That this much you remember. We are also planning to extend the gas pipeline even to the eastern states. It is only for the few states, not all the states. But the main purpose is not to give for industry, it is for the domestic purpose, cooking purpose only. The gas lines are created. Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions Code. Okay, Occupational Safety, Health, OSH we say. It is released by Niti Aayog. And specially directed towards migrant workers, interstate migrant workmen, Regulation Conditions Act of 1979. Very, very important. OSH is mainly related to what? Migrant. This word you remember. Migrant. Okay. So this act is subsumed under the new code, OSH code. So according to this new code, the migrant worker in other states, suppose I am in Telangana, so if I go and work in Maharashtra as a labor, as a worker. So with this code, the code says to all the state government that whenever a migrant worker works in your state, provide him decent working conditions. Decent working conditions is nothing but safety should be there when he is working. Uniform should be there when he is working. Water facility should be there for drinking purpose. His area of living and his area of work should not be very, very far, so that he should go by walk and come. Understood? Give break when it is a rigorous work you are doing, like 4 hours, 3 hours, rigorous work you are doing on the mining, quarrying you are doing. So give break in between. Give them mask so that the particles should not go inside them. That is called as decent minimum working conditions you have to give to the migrant worker. Grievance redressal if they have a problem, etc. So all good things are there here. Okay. This code is applicable to the establishment in which 10 or more interstate migrant workers are employed. 10 or more interstate migrant workers are employed. Okay, Shag House is there now? Shag House. Everyone is interstate only. No Hyderabadi will work with them. All of them are from Odisha or from Bihar or from UP only. All that kids. They are having more than 10. For them it is anyhow applicable. Yesterday what happened, I was going with my cousin. So what has happened is police persons were stopping the riders and they are asking that why you have not wear the mask, and they are 5,000, 2,000 rupees channel they are giving, channel. Fine. Then I said, sir, listen to me. Then I said, what happened? I was having mask. Sir, I am coming from Shag House. There, the person who is giving me tea, the person who is giving me token, okay, not even in Shag House, everywhere, they are not even wearing mask. So I at least go from one place to another place, but he is interacting with ended number of people in a minute row. Then why don't you go and catch him? Are you getting my point? Why don't you go and catch him then? Then why you are asking a simple, like how people who are very near to their houses, they will only move here and there, no? Okay, and they will move for some work and they'll go back. Otherwise, they will always be there with their own friends and relatives only, right? They will be not, they are not interacting with many people also. So you are stopping us. You can just go to all the restaurants and all the ticket counter persons are there, tea persons are there. Take them all away to the jail then. Then he is saying that no, you go away. Okay. So this is, see how the government approaches to things. Bad approach. Where actually they have to be there, they are not there. And they are unnecessarily troubling what riders. You go to pubs, you go to clubs. So you are just standing in a residential area for what purpose? Right. Identify which one of the following statement is or are correct. Saksham is a dynamic job portal for mapping the skills of Shramiks, nothing but laborers. It is launched by Technology in Information Forecasting and Assessment Council. Okay, so both is right. Okay, both is right. So I have not given any explanation for things which are already right. So it's just waste of a slide also. Right. Major Port Authorities Bill 2020. This has to be in polity. Bill will apply only to major ports. Again a twisting word. Only to major ports. Remember this point. Okay. The bill provides for the creation of Board of Major Ports Authority. Okay. For each major port. It replaces the existing port trust. Okay. So whatever the ports we are having, all that ports would be managed by trust. Trust is nothing but the ship owners association will also be there, government representatives will also be there, investors will also be there. Together the body is called as what? Trust. In the same way corporation is also same. Corporation is also same. Okay, so overall all of them will decide what is good for the trust. Okay, so this port trusts are going to be replaced by a board of major port trust authority. The board will comprise a chairperson and a deputy chairperson. Both of them will be appointed by the central government. It will give an requisite autonomy. In this board, later on whatever the new investments, new infrastructure facilities will be created with regard to the ports, that has to be done on the model of what? Public-private partnership, government money and private money, just like our Shamshabad airport. Okay, GMR. Central government money is there, state government money is there, and also GMR is also there. So public and private, the project is being run. Even metro also. Metro, L&T, private sector. Then government money is also there, central government money is also there. Soil health card scheme implemented across the total country on 5th December 2015 was launched. Under this scheme, village level soil testing labs. Village level soil testing labs will be created at village level. Till now we do not have a village level labs. Now we are having a village level soil testing labs. One machine is there, just like our weighing machine will be there, no, in ration shops. Weighing machine. Okay, that machine is called as Mridha Parikshak. It's called as what? Mridha Parikshak. So the moment the agriculture extension officer, AEO, means whatever the agriculture related works are there, he will extend, he will go to the farmer and he extend the agriculture related services. That's why he is called as agriculture extension officer. Means agriculture related schemes whatever are there, he will extend it to the farmers at their doorstep, at their farmland. So this particular person will go to the farmer, take the soil, put on that machine, and the machine will show the reading which nutrient, nitrogen is more or phosphorus is more. So according to that analysis, his soil health card will be prepared, and in which he is deficient, in which he is having more nutrients. Okay, these nutrients will only support this crop, these nutrients will not support this crop. So farmer will be educated that you should not you should not use these crops for your soil, otherwise the expenditure will be more. Okay, and in these nutrients also you have to grow these crops, and within that nutrients also some nutrients are not in requisite proportion, then that kind of fertilizers you have to buy and use. soil health card. So this is like a sustainable system. Okay, with that what happens, soil health will always be maintained. When you don't use indiscriminately, when you use in a proper scientific way, judiciously, then soil health will be maintained. Okay. So here you see that soil health card is a printed report. It is having 2 sets of fertilizer recommendation for 6 crops. Okay, and it has got some 12 parameters are there. 12 nutrients. 12 nutrients will be assessed. I have given here. pH level is there, what? Electrical conductivity, organic carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus. On all these aspects, the information will be given in the card, and he will be educated on it, which nutrients he has to buy, what is the deficiency or elements in his soil, etc. He will be educated. Consider the following statements. Union Minister of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship has chaired a function called as Transforming Skilling through Strategic Partnerships under Sankalp. It is a World Bank assisted program. The objective is to strengthen district administration and district skill committees. Find the correct quote. Okay, all are right. All the above. So this is anyhow transforming skilling. The first statement is right. World Bank, this is also right. Objectives to strengthen the district administration and district skilling committee. 3 statements are right. Okay. Which of the following scheme launched to address the skill gap in the textile sector? Reskilling program. Reskilling India, you are saying, somebody is saying Shakti. Ab bol do, do bhi bol do. Okay. So it is this one. Okay. Securities Appellate Tribunal. Okay, securities means the moment you hear about it, you have to, in your mind, what should come? Shares, bonds and their trade. Shares, bond and their trade. Shares, bond and stock exchange. 3. Shares, bond and stock exchange. 3 should come in your mind. And authority. One authority is there. SEBI. Securities Exchange Board of India. Securities will get exchanged, right or wrong? Yes. Okay. This appellate tribunal will be working under SEBI. This tribunal is a statutory body. It is a statutory body to hear and dispose of appeals. Very, very important point I am saying you. To hear the disputes, to hear and dispose of appeals passed by SEBI, PFRDA, IRDA. Very, very, very important is this. Okay, you will never consider these 2 as a part of that tribunal. PF and IRDA. So make sure that PF related any claims are there that they have not refunded you, or insurance related any claims are there, IRDA you can go. I suppose I am having a Bharti AXA insurance is there for me. Bharti AXA insurance is there. Okay, life insurance is there. Hospitalization insurance is there. So fortunately, unfortunately, I met an accident and I got hospitalized. Then there is a clause is there that when I get hospitalization, then they will give me money, but they are not refunding it. They are saying that no, that will not come, this will not come. You drove at the left side. Why did you take the right side turn? Okay, why did you go opposite of the way? So it's your problem. We will not hospital you will. So that thing is, all these things are neither mentioned there. Okay, not told to me orally also. Not told to me orally also. What is there on the clause? When I get hospitalized, the Bajaj AXA will pay me. So they are not paying me. Where I have to go? IRDA. Where I have to go? IRDA. Then IRDA will give the whatever the judgment is there against me. Against me. Then where I have to appeal? Securities Appellate Tribunal. There I have to appeal. So even pension and IRDA related cases also they will look after. This is statutory body. I have like an act. I don't exactly remember it. Okay. It has same powers as a civil court. Obvious. Tribunal means it will be having some powers with the civil code. Right, again, unsolicited commercial communications means you don't want it, but still they are sending you messages with regard to Zomato, with regard to Swiggy on your phone. They are continuously coming to you. Okay, they are called as what? Unsolicited commercial communications. Okay, this hotel, that hotel, this event, that event. Right, you don't want it, but still you are getting it. That have to be regulated or not? Yes, this is right. This is wrong. Cert. Cert is wrong. Okay. So the correct answer is only 1. So this is not cert, it is Ministry of Communications, and under them Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. So there is no cert mentioned here. So first one is wrong. Second one is very common, that is right only. It is a, what is a unsolicited commercial communication? It is any commercial communication which a subscriber opts not to receive. I don't want. Okay, but it does not include what? Messages from central and state government. Okay, very very important. A person can also unsubscribe himself from government related messages, means no, you cannot do that. Okay, you have to take the, because that is how they will make you aware with regard to various schemes, various new laws, right? Okay, government information is coming to your doorstep, that is very very good. It is coming to your not even doorstep, it is coming in your hand, in your mobile, in your hand only. Okay, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, it is a statutory body by the Act of Parliament of 1997. Public sector enterprise policy. Okay, so we are going to, like, lot of hangama is going on with regard to Government of India is going for lot of privatization, right? They are selling everything. Okay, they are doing lot of disinvestments, they are doing lot of privatization. So lot of opposition is always saying that whatever the jewels, like Rahul Gandhi has mentioned, the jewels of the nation that we have built from the time of independence, this government is selling everything to the private sector. So he was criticizing in that way. Okay, so Government of India has got a policy now, that what things they are going to disinvest, what things they are not going to disinvest. Okay, so they have divided all the public sector enterprises, central government owned companies. They have divided into two. One is strategic, non-strategic. Strategic means atomic energy, space, all these will come. Okay, and non-strategic means those which can be privatized, or if they don't want, they will close. This will only be privatized or they will close it, but not strategic. So non-strategic sector, they will either privatize or close. These are the strategic. Okay, but this policy would not be applied on major port trust, airport authority of India, not for profit companies. Okay, or CPSEs providing support to vulnerable groups, not for profit companies like NABARD. NABARD is a not for profit. So that particular organization will not be a part of, NABARD is not mentioned here, but it will come under what? This one. It will come under not for profit organization. So that organizations which are working for the welfare of the larger people, okay, so that will not be disinvestment. This particular will not be, policy will not be applied, right? That is capping is there, we can never say. It could be 20 or 40 or 60 or 70 like that. Privatization depends whether they want to sell wholesomely, means 51%. Okay, whether they wanted to regulate, it is like important to both public and also to the private, means they will have like 51%. So that's why these disinvestments will have cappings. Okay, right. So with regard to total disinvestment process of the Government of India or central government, DIPAM will look after it. Okay, Department of Industry and Public Asset Management. Public asset means government companies. Government companies manage, we have to manage. It means, should we sell it, should we privatize it, or should we put more money and revive it? Sell it, privatize or infuse money and revive it. Okay, so that is called as management. So ultimately we don't want to do anything waste. Okay. DIPAM manages the government equity, nothing but government disinvestments, nothing but government ownership. Government ownership. Equity means share. Share is nothing but ownership. Share is nothing but ownership. This is a very, very simple question. What is the answer? World Economic Forum, UNDP, Power Council of India. Yeah. This is normal campaign. Union Minister for Road Transport and Highways launches the Go Electric campaign. Remember this point. It is also campaign run by Bureau of Energy Efficiency to promote and spread awareness on electric mobility. One scheme is also there with regard to electric vehicles. What is that scheme? Go Electric is a campaign, means everyone should buy like electric vehicles. Don't use petrol, diesel like that. Go Electric campaign. So we are having a scheme which promotes the manufacturer to manufacture or produce only electric vehicles. What is the scheme? Very good. FAME India. Faster adoption of manufacturing of electric vehicles. Faster, tondorga, fast adopt cheyali. We have to adopt very fast. Adoption of manufacturing of electric. Okay. Scheme of fund for regeneration of traditional industries. It's a scheme and a fund is there for regeneration of what? Traditional industries. Our economy is, India is a traditional economy also, where you are having the traditional industries and also the modern industries. Traditional industries like we are having handlooms, handicrafts, etc. Modern industries we are having what? Nanotechnology is also there, robotics is also there, biotechnology is also there, iron and steel is also there. So modern and traditional still existing in our country. It is scheme under Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise Ministry, launched in 2005. And this scheme will be implemented by Khadi and Village Commission. Remember that it is a statutory body, and also COIR board, again a statutory body. These two bodies will act as a nodal point for the implementation of this scheme. Okay, Khadi and Village Industry Commission and also COIR board, both are statutory bodies. These two bodies will be implementing the scheme for regeneration of traditional industries, and they work under the Ministry of MSME to organize traditional industries and artisans into cluster and to make them competitive and increase their income, to give them assistance in various spheres. Keeping the villages at the core of economic policies. Regular cluster 500 artisans are there, major cluster more than 500 artisans. Okay, regular cluster 500, just a classification. Major means more than 500 artisans coming together and they are pooling their resources and they are doing all their traditional industry related work, maybe weaving, okay, maybe gum making, whatever is there, they will do. Okay, clusters will be made. Consider the following statement. What is the meaning of line of credit? And this is anyhow related to this. So whether we did with Mauritius, whether we did with Indonesia, for what? Line of credit. Yes, both are right. Okay. Line of credit, it is a facility extended by a bank or any other financial institution to a government or business or individual customer. Okay, and this is a current affair that happened. So we have given to Mauritius. Neither are not right. Incorrect means neither. Both are right means neither one and not two are not wrong.